All right, so here we are in another greenhouse on the southwest side of the house. This one's kind of sunken, you can see. So we've got a native osmanthus in here. We've got a yuzu ichandrin, a almost hardy form of citrus. Going to get ready to bloom. This made a fruit last year. Excited about that. This is a big apricot, which was very productive last year, not so much this year. Maybe it's an alternate bearing, I don't know. So this violet stuff is Fragmus violaceus, highest protein of anything in the cabbage family. Comes from Mongolia. It's pretty hardy. Survives out in the garden, but it survives even better in the unheated greenhouses where it pretty much wants to take over. I've yanked a lot of this out. I'm about to yank the rest out, but it is starting to make its seed pods. Very tasty, delicious flowers, and the greens, they taste a lot like roquette, arugula. Excellent. You could use it for a part of an edible cover crop, especially down in the Piedmont or where it's slightly warmer, although it does survive the winter up here outdoors in somewhat sheltered locations. There's a lot of stuff in here that hasn't broken through the ground yet. Some turmeric, some exotic jack-in-the-pulpits. This is a May apple from China with beautiful red flowers and these huge leaves. I had one outdoors that made it through the winter, but then we got this 19 degrees when it was all up like this, and that pretty much zapped it. I think it will come back. I doubt it's totally dead. A little hardy rosemary in here, a little pond for growing some kind of water plants. Forget what all we had in there. And then on the outside, just a nursery bed for all kinds of things. Like osmanthus, not quite hardy species of asparagus. There's that fritillaria pallidiflora, gerbemu, getting rather expensive. Here's a nice bunch of some kind of oriental Erysima, jack-in-the-pulpit, popping up. It's lovely to watch them come up out of the ground and unfurl. Different interesting species of Solomon seal. That looks like maybe Polygonatum verticillata. They just have so many more species of some of these woodland genera than in China than we do here, like Podophyllum, Polygonatum, Asarum. We have several, they have dozens. This one is water celery, Onanthe javanica. Turns out to be hardy. It's really happy in the pond. We've got it growing right in the water in one of our little ponds. This variegated osmanthus. I started talking about this one, Destania, Korean giant celery. Very good solid perennial and quite tasty. A bit nicer than lovage, which is kind of the other perennial celery that we have going on. So I can look down in this area. This is all pretty new. This is fill from when we dug that duck pond. We had to put all the dirt somewhere. Here's a little Huanglian. It's kind of a Chinese equivalent of golden seal, you might say. Actually, we do have one in America, farther north, New England, called gold thread. So this would be a Chinese gold thread. Important antimicrobial kind of herb in You know, it's a berberine plant from China. There's a camas. That's nice. A couple of azaleas. Currants. Lots of things just now coming up. Azaleas coming into bloom. This one will be blooming. Hostas all coming up. Some of them got frozen when we had that 19 degrees, you can see. And now they're coming back again. This is a popular spring vegetable in Japan, hostas. And the time you want to eat them is when they look like this. Still all curled up. As soon as they open out, they start to get kind of tough. It'd be an interesting experiment to do some taste trials on the hundreds, if not thousands, of hostas that we have in the world now. Plant breeders are going crazy with hostas. There's a very nice Asian Erysima. Look at that. What a flower. It's got that mayapple kind of foliage. Looks like some little dongui seedlings popping up. Angelica sinensis. Some nice phlox here. Corydalus. Going to seed, very nice spring flowering bulbs. Beautiful, they're all finished now, but this is alternate species for Yanhusuo, which is the #1 pain relieving herb in Chinese medicine. It's a little tuber down under there. Would be the used part. More of the Huanglian. Bunch of little yew cuttings. Maybe about 3 years old. Another interesting jack-in-the-pulpit. These will be some big lilies by Huh. There are currants and gooseberries scattered around in here. Trout lilies, erythronium. Those have edible tubers. Beautiful little anemone. Gone past now. And little seedling ramps. Kind of getting to be everywhere now. I think these are ramps. Actually, most of these seedlings are probably from that big lily by Huh, which does a very good job of sowing itself. There's a tea plant back there. There's quite a lot of ginseng here and there. Just barely starting to come up now.